Sup nerds! Welcome back to my channel, guys. I'm so excited for today's video. As you guys saw by the title, I'll be showing you 10 books that I expected to hate but ended up loving. I honestly don't know what I titled this video because that's kind of wordy. This is also just 10 books that I didn't expect to love, something like that. I did want to specify though that these are books that I honestly went into it thinking that I was gonna not like it, because there are a bunch of books that I didn't necessarily expect to love because it was just kind of like, okay, like this seems cool, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't, whatever. But like these books are specific to the fact that I thought I was gonna not like them. Like I went in there knowing that I was like, hey, this book might not be your favorite, but it's fine, we'll make it through. You know what I'm saying? So I thought this video was super fun. And then they're kind of fun recommendations if you're nervous about any of these or you just kind of want to get my opinion on them. I have them here all in one spot, so I'm so excited. First, if you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Wow, I forgot. First, if you guys like book recommendations. If you guys like talking about books. If you guys like all the nerdy things, then definitely give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and without further ado, let's just get started. Alright, so these are in no particular order, I'm just kind of grabbing them, but first we have, this is Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. So this one, actually, again, I was expecting not to like it. I'm gonna say that a million times, so I'm so sorry. But this one, if you look at the cover, I'm like, what's going on here? Because these colors are chaos. Like, what is she wearing? And then I'm like, I don't even know what, like, I didn't understand what's happening. And then there were turtles, and there was a lot. And I don't typically love to read like the backs of the books before going into a book. I don't always do that. So I can't remember like what my thought process was going into this, but I bought it and I was just kind of like, it's fine, if I don't like it, like, it'll be fine. But I did love The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, but that one just like, it looks, when you look at the cover, you kind of know what you're getting. This one, I was like, I don't know what's happening here. I had no idea. But after I finished it, I freaking loved this book. I think I gave it like 4 stars or something like that. But I honestly thought it was so fun. It's definitely corny, cheesy, you know, like very, I don't want to say basic, but like kind of like that. So she's basically, she works at like an elderly facility or something like that. Like she has her office, but she doesn't, like, it's not like a, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a housing situation where everyone has their own house, I think, but it's, and then she like works in the office, but it's not necessarily like an apartment. I don't know, maybe I pictured it wrong, but that's how I pictured it. But basically she works with the elderly, and so that was the idea behind her character, is that she kind of dresses like that, like with the long skirts, the glasses that hang like on your neck, and like the sweaters and all that stuff, and that was kind of the vibe. And so that's why after you read it you understand, but looking at this book I was like, this is gonna be terrible. But I was like, I wanted to give it a shot because it was Sally Thorne and I really liked her first book, and she only has, I think, like 3 books, and so I was like, girl. But I ended up loving this, and so if you are nervous about this book, it's definitely corny, definitely cheesy, but it's so much fun, and I feel like you will not be disappointed. It's your stereotypical, like, you know, like nerdy girl, and then the bad boy guy, he like drives a motorcycle, whatever, but it's fun. Oh my gosh, this book I love so much. Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. I feel like the only one out of the series. So I read the first book. I did not love the first Twisted book. Then I really loved the second one, but that one has like a trope that I really like, which is bodyguard. And then the third one, I did not like that, enemies to lover. So then when it came to this one, I'm like, I don't even know what the tropes would be from this one. Like, no idea. But I was just expecting to just really not like it because I didn't love the series, and I was like, I just gotta finish this series, it's fine. Oh my gosh, like this one definitely has to be tied with, and I don't know, I have to put this, wow, I feel like I have to put this a little bit higher than Twisted Games, just because I was expecting to love it, hate it, and I loved it, and so I feel like it needs props for that. Like, it's a unique situation, which I just thought it was so good, and I loved Christian. Oh my gosh, it's Christian, yeah, and it was a little bit crazy, but like, I don't know, it's such a good time. Like, if I was gonna reread any of them, I would reread this one. I wouldn't necessarily reread Twisted Games, because it's like, once you get it once, it's fine. But like, I don't know, everything about this was so much fun. So if you're struggling through the Twisted series, just know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. This one is so good. And so this one is the fourth one, so I felt like her writing was just getting better. It was getting more entertaining, like little things. I feel like Twisted Love had little things that were just stupid or like unnecessary, and so you're like, okay, whatever. But like this one, I feel like all those little fine things were like ironed out and it was perfect. So I love this book. I was not expecting to love it, but oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, same with this one. You guys know, this one's one of my favorite books of all time. This is The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. I kind of want to reread it soon because I just read, what is it? Love Redesigned. Love Redesigned I just read, and like Cal gets a little bit of cameos and I'm like, I love you. Anyway, this one I didn't like either of the first two books. I didn't really like them. I just feel like both the male characters were just not like, I don't know, I just didn't like them. And like it was fine, but I feel like they were just a little too, I don't want to say mean, but like a little bit too like cranky, crabby, like whatever. And so I was just like, you're giving a lot for me. I didn't like that. And so this one, going into it, I did not have high expectation. This one is the longest one out of the three as well. It was long, and I was like, I feel like she's gonna ruin Cal for me, because if you read Cal in the first two books, is actually like a really fun character. I just felt like she was gonna ruin him. I had that in my head, a preconceived notion. It was my bad because Cal ended up being so incredible. I read this book, like, honestly, for the size of it, I read it pretty fast because I could not stop. I was like, I want to know. Cal and Alana, you guys know, have my heart. And then she's a single mom, so I feel like that too. I'm thinking about doing a single parent book video, like giving you those recommendations. And I don't know if I should specifically do single dad or just do single parent, because I feel like there's only a couple of like single moms, I feel like, but like this is a good one that you all need to read. So I was very excited. If you're like me, you're kind of stuck with this series and you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to read this journey, do it. It is so worth it. I love it so much. Oh my gosh, this one is hilarious. So this is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this one's just, I didn't expect to like it because it's not something I read often. I think this is technically literary fiction. I don't actually know though. I believe it is though. And so, I don't know, I never thought about how incredible I feel like this book is, because it's like it's the author's writing a book. She made a fake story. Okay, I don't know how to explain it. The author wrote a story about a band, but the way the book is written is as if the band is like reminiscing or like talking about the history of their band. And it's like, mind blown, but it is so genius. I listened to this on audiobook and I 10 out of 10 recommend doing that, because the character voices change and it's just oh my gosh, it's just so good. I don't want to say way better because I've never read it, but I've never physically read it, but like it is so good. And so I 10 out of 10 recommend. But again, it's very out of my comfort zone, and so I was nervous, but it ended up paying off. And it is like one of those books that like I think about, like it'll just pop in my head and I was like, yo, that was so good. And I'm like, I listened to the songs from the movie. I haven't watched it. I think it's a TV show. I haven't watched the TV series, but I listened to some of the songs and I'm like, it hits me right in the soul because it's just so good. And you're like, ugh. And it's, again, it's not like a romance, like it's not like anything like that. It's literally about a band, but something about it is so good. I need more band recommendations. I read a series on Kindle Unlimited, but I only have read those two, and I don't know, something about the band is doing it for me. So, band recommendations, I'll take those, thank you. Alright, and then we have, oh my gosh, I thought about this book the other day too. This is From Lukov with Love by Marissa Zapata. Again, this is another book that just pops up in my head, and I'm like, oh, that was so good. So, I have a bad history with Marissa Zapata. I don't love all of her books. There's one favorite that I love, Dear Aaron, actually is right there. Dear Aaron, I love that book so much. The other two that I read were just not it. I'm not a slow burn kind of gal, and she makes hunky chunky slow burn. So it's not like a normal book where let me find a normal sized book where this is slow burn and then this is the rest. It's not like that. This is huge, and so this is slow burn and then this is the rest, and you're like, okay, like again, it's not my vibe. And then this one was really hard because I'm like, they're both figure skaters or something. Yeah, they skate together. Was that a spoiler? I don't know. They're both figure skaters. yeah, figure skaters. And so that was just not something that I read a lot, and I just was just, again, it was just not like the vibe in my head. And anyway, though, I read it and I ate it up. It was so good. I feel like this is my problem with like some of the slow burns, is that like they don't have enough of the couple like together being like cute. And so that's why like I'm like, those are not annoying. And then when they're grumpy, it's just annoying. So he's a little bit like, they're a little bit like enemies, but they're not really enemies. And so it's like cute banter, and that's what I love about this, is that it was cute. And so I appreciated that. Like there's a whole 6 scene that's like, I think it was a couple chapters long. It was so long, and I was like, it was just so good. And so I definitely was not expecting to love this, but I loved it. Like loved it. Like you need to read this duology. Like read Dear Aaron first, then read From Lukov with Love, because it's an interconnected standalone. They're sisters, and you will not regret it. You will not be disappointed. You won't be. All right, then we have Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I'm not a, there's a lot of things I'm not. I just don't like a really long romance. Like this is like, there's no reason for this. And even if I do love this book, but I still don't believe there's a reason for this. I think that we could have cut out a little bit of it. But beside that point, this book is so good. And I know a lot of people loved it. I just thought I was going to be like, there are some other series too that I just thought in my head, I'm like, those are overhyped. Like I preconceived that they would be overhyped in my head. And so I'm like, they're going to be overhyped and I'm not going to like it. And so that was this one for sure. And so I was just like, So when I finally got it, I was like, okay. And then when I finally read it, I was like, okay. I actually listened to this on audiobook, and y'all, so I definitely did. In the beginning, I was like, I don't know about this. And I would like go back and forth. I I was gonna say like gel penned, I don't know, like underlined some stuff. Okay, you literally can't see any of them. Oh, there's some. I literally underlined some stuff because it was super cute, but like it was so slow going in the beginning. I was like, and then I was like, I don't know about this. But then when it gets going, y'all, it gets going. And so it was just the ending, the way it ended. I think the ending definitely like skyrocketed up for me. I just thought it was super cute. At first, I also was like, what's his name? Knox. He thought he was a little like too mean at first. Anyway, I'm not even gonna, this is my, whatever. I'm like talking a lot about this. This is not my point. My point is that I was just expecting to love it and hate it, and I loved it so much. There's just so many good things about it. It was so cute. It's very corny, very cheesy. This is not gonna be everyone's cup of tea, especially because it's years long. But if you like corny, like cheesy, like the, like, you know, like the, I don't want to say insta love, but like the, you like all that stuff, the corny cheesy stuff, then you will definitely like this. And so I had to give it a 5-star. I had to love it. I had to let myself love it, because at first, again, I was trying to deny it, but it was so good. And so I love this book. I'm really nervous to read the second book, because that one I've heard is the worst. And then, but I've also heard people who don't like the third one, and so I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself, but I was expecting not to love this one, so maybe I'll love the other two. I don't know. I rarely have seen anybody talk about these books and love all three. And that's why I'm nervous, because I like this one a lot. Okay, next we have actually Heartless Hunter. So this is a book of the month book, which is your choice. So obviously I chose it. Like there was a little bit of like interest in it. But when I got it, I was like, y'all didn't tell me. It's in third person. I said, and I hate that. And then something about third person YA. Y'all, it's like, and I know you guys feel like, Marissa, that's so dramatic. It is so dramatic, but like sometimes it's just like I can't do it. And so it was just really hard for me, or like I have to buy it on audiobook if I'm gonna listen to it, which is fine. Like I don't mind it, but then like whatever. And then this was a new book, so that then it would be expensive on Audible, so it was just like whatever. Anyway, did I end up listening? No, I ended up reading this book, and I freaking loved it. I thought it was so good. I think the storyline is so good that you don't even realize that it's in third person. You're kind of just like fall into the story. It is so good. It's like, I don't want to say short, but it's very quick pace. It's like 400 pages, but it's very quick and you love it. And I cannot wait for the next one, because like it leaves on the biggest, like, it's not even a cliffhanger, but it leaves on the biggest like what? And so you're like so excited. I don't know. It's just perfect. This is the ultimate. If you were looking for any enemies to lovers, this is the ultimate enemies to lovers, and you will not regret it. Like, you will not be disappointed. This is the only enemies to lovers that I could say this is my favorite. Well, this is the only true enemies to lovers, I should say, because it's just not a trope that I like go out of my way to find. And then, like, you know, like, romances are not actually, they're enemies to lovers, but it's like barely an enemy. You're just like crabby and your guys are annoying. That's it. It's not really enemies. Although this one is also a little bit of enemies to lovers. I don't know. So again, it's not even really enemies. It's just like dislike to lovers, you know? Anyway, this is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Now, I don't remember exactly going into this book what my thoughts were on Nesta. This one took me forever to read because I was like, it's also in third person. I know, I gotta tell you. I have to be the one to tell you. But it's not the same characters you were following the whole other series. And so it's kind of like throws you for a doozy, and that's not always my favorite. But this book was so good. And I honestly, I don't know. I've seen that there are some people out there who like were bothered with Rhysand in this book, and I was like, honestly, facts, because he was annoying me the house down in this. Like, I was so annoyed. And I love Nesta. I love Castian. Like, I ate this book up. It was so good. I think I listened to this as well. I loved it. And Nesta, I don't know. She's the GOAT. I love her. Honestly. I can't deny it. She's incredible. And I definitely like her better than freaking Feyre. I thought I was the only one who thought Feyre was just like a hot mess. But other people agree. So anyway, I love this book so much. And if you're like through the ACOTAR series and you're like, I don't know if I should read this book or not, do it and you won't regret it. I feel like you won't regret it. I feel like it. So I'll just tell you that you won't regret it, you know? And then if you regret it, then you can blame me. It's fine. Oh, we just did the Sarah J. Maas in order. Y'all. This goes for this book and the rest of the series as well that I've read so far. I was not expecting to love this series the way that I do. It's like becoming a part of me, and I was not expecting that because it is YA. And so I loved ACOTAR, but again, that one's like not YA. Although Feyre acted like a little bit childish, the other characters are not like children, you know what I mean? And so, Selena is a child, but that's what always makes me nervous, is that you're giving child, I don't know, like, I'm pretty sure, I compared another few books, but like, I'm pretty sure the characters in Renegades and Selena are like the same age. And, like, these act like children, and Selena doesn't, and so, but before, I didn't know that until after I started reading it, and so I was nervous to start reading it, but, reading it is so good, and then, like, by, like, the third or fourth book or something like that, Selena's, like, 19, so, honestly, she just was always super mature she was literally an assassin at the age of, like, I don't know, really young, so, honestly, like, she's barely a kid, but, I thought this book was so good, and I love Selena, like, as a main character, because she's an icon, and I'm like, you go, girl, but I also love, like, I really like all the other characters, I should say. I love all of them. I just love the way she's writing this story. There's so much, I could talk about these forever, but I love this book so much, and I really was like, oh, this is gonna have to, I'm just gonna read it, and then I have to get through it, you know what I mean, just so I can be a Sarah J. Maas, series finisher, but I ended up loving it, so it actually works out great, because, I'm definitely, gonna finish this series. I love this series, and then I'll be, onto Crescent City, and I'll be all caught up, and so I'm excited. Alright, last but not least, honestly kind of ended with the last but least, but I really love this book. This is Percy Jackson, and the Olympians, the Chalice of the Gods. This is, Percy Jackson book 6, technically. See, that's why it was confusing to me. So I, at first, was really excited about this book. I was like, yes, 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 I've been waiting for this, for more Percy Jackson. And so I thought it was gonna kind of take place on where they are, so that would be like the original Percy Jackson, the Lost Hero series, then I thought it would be like, I think it's Magnus Chase, like, Trials of Apollo, the Sun and Star, like, I thought it would follow all of those and be the next book in the series, but instead of doing that, it goes all the way back and literally takes place before all the other books. I'm like, you see how that was stupid? You understand? And so it was annoying to me. And when I figured that out, I definitely put this off for like months and months. I was like, I'm not reading it. But then when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, give me the nostalgia, because it was so good. And I'm like, it's your OG trio, Grover, Annabeth, and Percy, and you just love it. It was just a good time. It was very, like, I don't want to say it's, I kind of tried to explain this when I read this book. It's not necessarily a cozy fantasy, but it's definitely not like high stakes or anything like that. It's very chill, and it's very just like, I feel like the point of this is the nostalgia. It just like literally makes you feel all the good feels, and it's super exciting. So there are actually 3 books going to be in this series, and I'm so excited about them. I can't wait for them to come out, because they're also super quick, and I love Rick Riordan's writing. He's like one of my favorites of all time. I've literally read every other series basically, for the most part, from him. So that one I definitely I thought I was gonna hate that. I was like, no, but I loved it, so it was fine. I believe that was 10 books, right? Yes, 10 books. So those are the 10 books that I thought I was gonna hate but ended up loving. Let me know your thoughts on these books. Are there any of the books the same? Did you think that you were gonna hate these and then ended up loving? Let me know down below. That's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, nerds.